Today's video is about the Panchayati Raj. In 1992, 73rd and 74th amendments were made to bring about the effective working of the local self-governments in the rural and the urban areas. While the second 73rd amendment was for the rural areas, 74th amendment was for the urban areas. Gandhiji was of the opinion that the future of India lies in its villages. He wanted to bring about Ram Rajya through Gram Rajya. The panchayats had existed in India even before independence. They were there during the British rule also, and they were there during the Mughal period also. So panchayats were not being established. The Panchayati Raj was being made more effective by ensuring that the panchayats had more powers now. Now, after 1992, when the amendment was passed, panchayats were given more powers. Elections to the panchayats are now compulsory, mandatory. We have to have elections after every 5 years for every panchayat, and now the state governments have to share their resources and power with the local self governments. Panchayati Raj is the name given to the local self governments in the rural areas. The Panchayati Raj consists of three levels of governance. It's a three-tier system of government where at the lowest level we have the Gram Panchayat or the village Panchayat. Then a number of villages makes one block. So that is known as the Block Samiti or the Khand Samiti or the Panchayat Samiti. And all the villages below it, the heads of the villages below it are members of the Panchayat Samiti also. That is the intermediate level, the middle level. After that, we have the Zilla Parishad. The Zilla Parishad is the link between the government above it, state government above it, and the blocks and the villages below it. So that is the Zilla Parishad. So a number of villages makes one block, a number of blocks makes one Zilla or the district. Rural local government is popularly known by the name of Panchayati Raj. Rural is related to the villages. Each village or a group of villages in some states have a Gram Panchayat. Every village has a Gram Panchayat, but sometimes what happens is that a particular village or a group of villages may be very small. They're very close to each other. They may be having a very less population, and the eligible members who will be electing the representatives may also be less. So in that case, all these villages are clubbed together, they're brought together, and then there is one common Gram Sabha for all these villages. Now, every village has a Gram Panchayat or a group of villages. It is a council consisting of several ward members, often called Panch, and a president or Sarpanch. The members of the Gram Sabha, the common people, all the people who are 18 years and above, they become the members of the Gram Sabha. The members of the Gram Sabha elect the members of the Gram Panchayat, and Gram Panchayat has a number of Panch, maybe the number of people who are going to rule over the village depends, maybe 5, maybe 7, maybe 15. So all the members elected by the members of the Gram Sabha are called the Panch, and the Panch elect one person who is going to look after them. The Sarpanch is also elected by them. Then they are directly elected by all the adult population living in that ward. Decentralization was made effective only due to this Panchayati Raj system. It is the decision-making body for the entire village. That is, all the decisions are made by this body. The panchayat works under the overall supervision of the Gram Sabha. You know, at the end of every year, the members of the Gram Panchayat have to send a report of their working to the Gram Sabha. So imagine Gram Sabha is only a general body, it's only a group of all the eligible members of the village, they come together and they are actually even looking after the work of the gram, the village panchayats under them. And even the budget of the village panchayat has to be approved by the members of the Gram Sabha. All the voters in the village are its members. Its annual budget of the Gram Panchayat also is reviewed by the Gram Sabha, and even the working of the Gram Panchayat is reviewed by the Gram Sabha. The Panchayati Raj or the local government structure goes up to the district level also. A number of village panchayats makes one block. This is also known as a Mandal Samiti, a Block Samiti, or a Panchayat Samiti. The Panchayat Samiti has all the Gram Panchayats under it and they are all grouped together. The members of this body, this representative body, are elected by all the Panchayat members in that area. So, since a number of villages makes one block, all the Panchayat members of that area elect the members of the block Samiti above it. All the Panchayat Samitis or Mandals in a district together constitute the Zilla or the district Parishad. Again, I am repeating, a number of villages makes one block and a number of blocks makes one district or the Zilla. Zilla Parishad is the highest level. Most members of the Zilla Parishad are elected. Members of the Lok Sabha and MLAs of that district and some other officials of other district level bodies are also its members. The Zilla Parishad chairperson is the political head of the Zilla Parishad. We are calling it a chairperson because it could be either a male or a female. So again, just for a quick revision, I'll explain to you that the Panchayati Raj is a three-tiered level of local self-governments in the rural areas. It has three levels. You can even draw a flow chart and explain. It has three levels. Lowest level is the level of the village panchayat. Then just above that we have the block samiti. It is also called the block or even the panchayat samiti or the mandal samiti. And a number of blocks makes one district or it is called the Zilla Parishad. That is the highest level of the local self-governments in the rural areas or that of the Panchayati Raj. Just as we have the local self-government bodies in the rural areas by the name of Panchayati Raj, we also have local self-governments in the urban areas. These are called municipal corporations and municipal committees. For very, very big towns and cities, the local bodies are called the municipal corporations, and for the less populated cities, we have the municipal committees. The municipalities are set up in towns. Big cities are constituted into municipal corporations, and the smaller cities have municipal committees. Both municipalities and municipal corporations, that is, both municipal committees and municipal corporations, are controlled by elected bodies, the people who are elected, consisting of people's representatives. Municipal chairperson, that is the head of the municipal corporation or the municipal committee, is the political head of the municipality. He is able to take the decisions. In a municipal corporation, such an officer is called the mayor. We will be now doing the effects of the Panchayati Raj. We'll be studying about the positive and the negative aspects of local self-government. The new system of local government is the largest experiment in democracy conducted anywhere in the world. Now, you always have to remember that India is the second largest country in the world. But why do we call it the largest democracy? Because China, which is the most populated country in the world, is not democratic. There are now about 36 lakh elected representatives in the panchayat and municipalities, etc. That means the people the people are electing their representatives to the panchayats and the local bodies. They are numbering to almost 36 lakhs, which is even bigger than the population of many countries in the world. Constitutional status for local government has helped to deepen democracy in our country. Constitutional status means that in 1992, the local bodies were given were made more effective because of the Constitutional Amendment 73rd and the 74th Amendments. Now, in true sense of the word, the local self-governing bodies are now effectively discharging their functions. It has also increased women's representation and voice in our democracy. A large number of women are also the panch and the sarpanch, or as well as have been elected to the municipalities, that is the municipal corporations and committees. However, there are many difficulties or limitations to the working of the local self-governments in India. While elections are held regularly and enthusiastically, Gram Sabhas are not held regularly. As we have already done, the village panchayat has two parts. One is the village panchayat or the Gram Panchayat, and the second is the Gram Sabha. The Gram Sabha consists of all the adult members of that village, and the Gram Panchayat consists of the elected members of the village. So now the elections are held, the members of the Gram Panchayats are elected, but the Gram Sabha members cannot meet regularly. Most state governments have not transferred significant powers to the local governments, nor have they been given adequate resources. So we are thus a very long way from realizing the ideal of self-government. If these two lines are given to you as a question, inverted commas, we are still a long way from realizing the goal or the ideal of self-government. Explain, justify, then you have to give both the advantages and limitations of the Panchayati Raj system. With this, we come to an end of the second chapter, Federalism.